Alright, so here I am wearing an old hat, but a new jersey. So I just got this today. This arrived from Lids. I paid $40 for it. They're all gone. It's the old B, the old yellow one. And it's an old style, it's an actual sweater. So this is not a jersey per se. This is an actual hockey sweater. They still have a couple of these on sale on the Lids site. They have the Montreal Maroons and the Vancouver Canucks, the old stick and rink, for I think $75 for each of them, but you get a discount with membership, and they were original 150. I never pay full price for a jersey. Like I said, I paid $39.98 for this, including tax. So yeah, no regular price for me. All right. No, it's not a Coke. I got caught by the kids grabbing it. It's just I want something different, just for right now. Speaking of something different, so Hockey News is talking about their future watch, which is good because I've been talking about it too. Top 10 falling prospects. So I'm going to go through this with you guys. I posted it on my Facebook page, which is linked in the description of every video. So nobody can say that they don't know where it is. And they're talking about the top 10 uh, regressing prospects. So let's take a look at them. Number one, come on, get out of there. I hate the ads. Ironically. Players drafted in 2016 are not eligible for the risers or fallers as they've only just debuted in Future Watch. Well, of course. Okay, so number one, Sonny Milano. Last year, 33rd. This year, not ranked in top 100. Ouch, that's a precipitous drop. There's no denying Milano's YouTube-worthy hands. The kid can dangle like almost nobody else. But there's a lot more to hockey than stick handling wizardry. The scouting report and Future Watch foreshadowed a regression by comparing Milano's polarizing reception to Nikita Filatov's. 2017 report criticizes Milano's play away from the puck and questions whether he'll ever jive with hard-nosed coach John Tortorella. Hasn't been a disaster at the AHL level, amassing 13 goals and 31 points in 49 games. So, he's okay-ish, I guess. I don't know much about Milano. I know that anytime we're talking about prospects, they're prospects. There's always going to be prospects that don't work out. Number two on the list, Jakub Zboril, who I was never sold on. His focus never went on the questions. Reputation described as that of a player who's not always there. He'll need to find his consistency and improve his skating a bit before he sniffs an NHL roster. Skating is huge in today's NHL. When a player is smaller than his teammates or his opponents, he is not long for the NHL. So when I see a guy drop in the draft and you hear skating is his issue, fans of the team that draft him will always say, well, his skating can get fixed. They usually don't get to fix the skating because usually by the time a player is 17, 18, his skating is his skating. And if he's got a hitch in the way that he skates, you're basically teaching him over again. And some players will receive that well, and they'll do really well. Maybe they'll go to Gary Roberts' school. Maybe they'll train with the team in off season and really get up to speed, literally. And others won't. The ego of the professional sports player also sort of spills over for some of the prospects, and some of them don't feel like they have to work on anything. They feel they're good enough as they are, and that's it. So there's that. Ryan Pulock of the Islanders. Injury and lack of opportunity have squashed his prospect ranking, but it's an artificial fall. He still has an intriguing ceiling. By saying that, they're kind of admitting our rankings are just which is what I said when I got the Megsy. So when I said, hey, there's not a lot of Canucks at the top here, it doesn't mean a whole lot. There are plenty of non-top 100 draft or not top there are plenty of not top 100 prospects who will break through in the NHL. It's going to happen. Let me just grab one of these here. This is the one from 2012, which was Gushing Oil. Gushing Oil. Yeah. So let's take a look at the teams in terms of who they got. And I'll just start right with Anaheim. Justin Schultz, Rickard Rakell, and Kyle Palmieri are all in the top 50. Sami Vatanen is rated below them. John Gibson is 6th. He's not given a spot. Nick Bonino's 8th. He's behind Peter Holland. So that's a pretty good. And Emerson Edom was number 5. So they had Edom ahead of Gibson and Bonino. Everybody was ahead of Bonino basically this time. Bonino wasn't considered much of anything until he came up, and he was a pretty good player. Boston, Dougie Hamilton, Jordan Caron, and Alexander Koklachev, then Jared Knight, then Ryan Spooner's 5th. He doesn't have any kind of a rating in the top 50. This was top 50 at the time. Matt Bartkowski's down at 7th. Zach Hamill is at 10th. Hamill was not a great player. Buffalo, Zach Kashian was 13th. Joel Armia was 24th. Marcus Foligno was 70th. So that shows what that means right there. Braden McNabb, not rated. Mark Pysyk, not rated. Nathan Lewin was their top-rated goaltender at number 7. The Flames, Sven Berchi was rated 15th overall. Leland Irving is number 2 on the list. Then Max Reinhardt. And then Johnny Gaudreau was 4th. Not given a rating either. 5, Lance Boma. 6, Greg Nimish. 7, Marcus Granlund. Below Greg Nimish. Chris Breen, Ryan House, and John Ramage. Carolina, Ryan Murphy, Zach Dalpe. Not rated, so not in the top 100. Brian Dumoulin, or Riley Nash, who's been a decent player for Boston. Drayson Bowman, Mark Alt, Victor Rask. Yeah, Victor Rask is down at 7th on this list. Zach Boychuk, Mike Murphy, and Danny Biega. Chicago, their top-rated prospect at 25th, Brennan Saad. At 52nd, Mark McNeil. At 56, Jeremy Morin. At number 4 is Philip Deneau. Brandon Peary, not rated. Dylan Olsen. Kyle Beach. Below Kyle Beach is Adam Clendenning. Below that is Kevin Hayes. Below that is Stephen Johns. Just to give you an idea of when I say the Hockey News rates these guys, it's just all a big mixing bowl, basically. And the well-known prospects, the well-known draft picks are going to get those high ratings. So when I look at this and I see who's falling, like here, Carolina, Hayden Fleury has fallen like crazy. There's no reason to panic about his development yet. Big blue liners take time. That's the end all be all here. And he's only 20 years old. So, big deal. Griffin Reinhardt goes from 49th to not rated. His foot speed has become a problem, is what it says at the bottom. That's death for an NHL career. Michael Del Colli finished last season strongly in junior. Has more than enough time to become a legit goal scorer if the Islanders give him an opportunity. They blocked their youngsters with signings like 37-year-old Jason Chimera. Yes, the Islanders blocked their youngsters, but there's a reason. Del Colli would not score the way Chimera does. Jason Chimera is a damn good player, and he's part of the reason the Islanders are in the mix for a playoff spot. Do you want to make the playoffs, or do you want to give a guy like Del Colli a shot? Josh Ho-Sang has his shot right now, so why didn't Del Colli get it? Ho-Sang's further along, apparently. Michael McCarron's dropped. I don't think Montreal fans are going to care. Says lack of wheels is a problem. He's not there for his speed. Samuel Morin of the Philadelphia Flyers. Towering beast. The Flyers hope he can be a Chris Pronger, minus the offense, of course. He's only 21. He didn't play himself out of last year's high ranking. It's more that other prospects just outshone his game, which isn't eye-poppingly entertaining. You don't have to be eye-poppingly entertaining to be an NHL player. You just have to be smart. The one player that stood out for me, and I will not insult him again, when I went to see the Canucks play, was Lucas Sbisa. And when you watch the play away from the puck, and you watch him, and I said it after the game, and I said it the day after too, it's something different. To the point where I really wanted to go to tonight's game, but we couldn't find tickets cheaper than $60. Otherwise, I'd be going again, even though I haven't got over the overtired night from Monday. But there's all kinds of things that make a player a good NHLer and a good teammate. And being eye-poppingly entertaining, there's plenty of players who've been very entertaining to watch. Marius Czerkowski comes to mind as a guy who's very offensively minded and when he was on, it was great. When he was off, holy crap, it was scary stuff to watch. Kirby Reichel has dropped. Kirby Reichel shouldn't have been all that high last year, anyways. Steve Santini's dropped. Yeah, Santini's actually doing pretty well for New Jersey. So right there, they're showing maybe the prospect list is a little bit iffy. Um, and then people are automatically saying clueless article and this doesn't make any sense. Blah blah blah. The ratings that they give these guys, they're weird. And before anybody asks, I don't want to rate prospects. Here's why. Here's why. Um, where's this year's? This year's should be right here. Ugh, get my foot up and over because I can give you guys an example pretty quick here. Here it is. Because there's a simple reason why I don't rate prospects. Very simple reason I don't rate prospects. Looking for the top 100. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay, so for instance, right here, I can see right away, you've got Jake Bean at number 37 for Carolina. At number 45 is Alex Tuch from Minnesota. Tuch is going to be a more offensive player than Bean. And to me, that's just a weird... How do you qualify that? John Gillies is at 49. If he develops into a starter for the Flames, that's a weird place to put him, especially since he's rated behind Tyler Parsons. I would put Gillies ahead of Parsons right now because Gillies is doing it at a higher level of competition than Parsons. Kasperi Kapanen is 33 from Toronto. I don't know if he's ever going to make it. He might. He may not do it in Toronto. They may not have room. It is really, really strange to look at this. Have Alex Nylander at 6, Dylan Strome at 7, Matt Barzal at 8. How do you rate those guys along those lines when you've got Dubois at 10, Yost is at 11, Colin White's at 12, Logan Brown's at 14, Kirill Kaprizov is in between, Kaprizov, and Olli Juolevi's 15. It's just so, to me, looks so random. Like they've got 18 as Ilya Samsonov. Well, his numbers are off the charts in KHL. How do you know he's not the best prospect outside the NHL? I know Clayton Keller's the number 1 rated guy, and that's fine, but to me, it's a crapshoot. And to me, it's almost like it's a popularity contest. Like Jesse Puljujarvi gets the number 2 spot because, well, look where he was drafted. Who drafted him? He's going to end up probably on a line with McDavid at some point. He's the number 2 prospect. So it's a grain of salt thing. You can't really take this at face value. And I and it's weird because I love the hockey news and I buy it all the time. But when you look through these magazines, and I recommend you buy any older Future Watch magazine or anything that's related to Stanley Cup because it's fun looking back because they can be really wrong. Quite wrong. And often are. And part of the fun is when you look and you go, it's part of the fun of watching the draft too, isn't it? When you watch a draft and you see a guy fall and you go, oh, they're making a mistake. Who did they pick? That's a mistake. I remember when Marner got picked, a lot of people jumped on Toronto for that. I still remember Carey Price being picked by Montreal, and oh man, there was a hush. Why does Montreal need a goalie? They've got Jose Theodore. They don't need a goalie for years. Yeah, how would that have worked out? Honestly, how would Montreal have looked if they'd let Carey Price go? And how many articles would be written from then until now about how Montreal had a chance to draft a franchise goalie and they let him go somewhere else? It would have been all over. And when you think about where the Montreal organization would be without Carey Price, it's not exactly where they've been for the last 5-6 years. All right. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. It's just one of those things that they talk about and whether or not, this guy's dropping, that guy's dropping. It's like in Vancouver, you got the Jake Virtanen argument. I don't think Virtanen's stock has changed in the last year. I think it's just become obvious he's got stuff to work on. If he works on it, can he be an NHL player? Absolutely. Will he ever reach that ceiling that he was drafted as he was supposed to? No. No, I don't think Jake Virtanen will ever be a 30 goal scorer in the NHL. I don't think he'll ever be a power forward. I think he's got an option to work on his game and become a decent grinding bottom six guy who pots maybe 10 to 15 goals in a season. That's a pretty good life. That's a pretty good career you can make. There have been plenty of guys I've watched over the years, from Gaetan Duchesne, Bill Lindsay, guys like that, who have embraced that role in the bottom six and scored goals when they've had a chance, but played a really solid game. If Virtanen can make up his mind to be that kind of a player, you never know. That's why I won't write a guy off as a bust. Not at this age. Again, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. It is definitely Boston week for me. It's been fun watching my Bruins and seeing them. And I don't care if they win or lose tonight. It's not important. What's important is everybody's talking about the Bruins this week. It's really fun. And I've seen now on Sportsnet and in Hockey News, they've had discussions about whether or not Brad Marchand belongs in the Hart Trophy conversation. Who started that? I don't know if it was me. I have no idea. Anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, and I will talk to you all again soon.